Are you ready for another seismic shift that could send shockwaves right through the heart of your favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons? Because if the last few days have taught us anything in the NFL, it's that absolutely nothing is off the table. The very ground beneath our feet feels like it's trembling with the sheer unpredictability of it all. How much more chaos can one offseason hold? And just when you thought the quarterback drama was settling, a new, earth-shattering possibility emerges, one that could redefine the Falcons' defensive future in an instant. We've witnessed moves recently that would have been unthinkable just a few weeks ago. Jaylen Ramsey, the superstar corner, executing a head-spinning swap from Miami to Pittsburgh. Then came the shocker that sent a collective gasp across the league. Darren Waller, the dynamic tight end, coming out of retirement to join the Dolphins. Now, for us Falcons fans, that last one brought a distinct sigh of relief, confirming that our own Kyle Pitts isn't heading to South Beach. But the underlying message from these unexpected blockbusters is crystal clear. Even on July 1st, the NFL's rumor mill is churning faster and more furiously than ever before. And if two out-of-this-universe moves can happen, why not one more? That's the question buzzing around the league, especially among Steelers fans who are starting to worry that the recent acquisition of Jaylen Ramsey and his hefty contract might spell trouble for a certain defensive titan. We're talking about TJ Watt. TJ Watt, one of the most dominant pass rushers in all of football, is entering what's likely the final year or two of his current deal. And let's be honest, he's not among the highest-paid pass rushers in the game anymore. He's looking for a brand-spanking new contract, a deal that reflects his immense talent and undeniable impact. And who could blame him? He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, a perennial Pro Bowler, and his stats over the past few seasons speak for themselves. He's seen what Myles Garrett got from the rival Cleveland Browns, and he wants something in that neighborhood. Right now, he's not even close. So, why are we talking about TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Falcons channel? Because of a tweet that dropped yesterday from the ultimate NFL insider, Adam Schefter. Let me read it to you, and we'll put it on screen. Sources: in recent weeks, multiple teams have been discussing whether they can trade for Steelers standout TJ Watt, who skipped the team's most recent minicamp. Pittsburgh hasn't shown any willingness to deal him so far, but he's unhappy with his contractual situation, and sources believe outside team interest is likely to increase given today's trade. Now, before we drag the Falcons directly into this, let's dissect what this tweet really means in plain English. To do that, we need a quick lesson in how agents and reporters operate in the NFL. It's a symbiotic relationship, a delicate dance of information. Agents feed information to reporters to put out on behalf of their clients, the players, in exchange for a tweet like this from Schefter. That same agent will down the road provide Schefter with exclusive scoops. My player is requesting a trade, or my player is signing with his team. It's a quid pro quo, a give and take. Think of the reporter as being in the middle. To their right, you have the team, the general manager. The GM and the agent also swap information. The GM wants insights from the agent about their players, and the reporter acts as a conduit, passing information from the agent to the GM, often in exchange for information from the GM. So, when Schefter says sources, ask yourself for a second, would this source be the Pittsburgh Steelers? Highly unlikely, right? Why would the Steelers want to put out a feeler that TJ Watt, their defensive cornerstone, might be available for trade? It makes no sense. No, this information, this carefully crafted message, is coming directly from Watt's agent. They are using Adam Schefter's massive platform to broadcast a message to put immense pressure on the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that crucial knowledge, let's reread Schefter's tweet. In recent weeks, multiple teams have been discussing whether they can trade for Steelers standout TJ Watt, who skipped the team's most recent minicamp. Pittsburgh hasn't shown any willingness to deal him so far, but he's unhappy with his contractual situation, and sources believe outside team interest is likely to increase given today's trade. My interpretation: TJ Watt's agent is using Schefter to inform the Steelers that they are absolutely furious about the Jaylen Ramsey trade. Not because of Ramsey himself, he's a great player, but because of the contract the Steelers just took on. That contract makes it significantly harder for Pittsburgh to give what the massive extension he deserves because a significant chunk of their cap space is now tied up with Ramsey. As direct retaliation, as a power play, Watt's agent wants other teams to know that there has been, and will continue to be, trade interest for TJ Watt. Whether that interest is entirely true or partially fabricated for leverage, it doesn't matter. Because if you're Terry Fontenot, the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, and you're sitting at your breakfast table scrolling through your phone, and you see that tweet that there's been team interest in TJ Watt, and it's about to increase, what's your first thought? I didn't even know he was really available. But here's Schefter telling you there's been interest and it's going to spike. You might just pick up the phone. Now, I'm sure Fontenot doesn't need a Schefter tweet to reach that conclusion, but it certainly helps push things along for some GMs out there. It makes them think might be something brewing here. I'm going to give Omar Khan, the Steelers GM, a call and ask him, since you just acquired Jaylen Ramsey, it doesn't seem like you have the money for a TJ Watt extension. Can we discuss a trade? This Schefter tweet just helps push people along a little, and that's exactly what Watt's camp is searching for, because he's not getting the contract he wants from the Steelers. Now, let's bring the Atlanta Falcons into this mix. Could the Falcons be one of those teams that picks up the phone and says, listen, we can do simple math here. You're running out of dollars and cap space for your own players after acquiring Ramsey. We'd like to pursue a Watt trade with you. Honestly, I don't think it's likely. Not after drafting James Pierce and Jalen Walker, two promising edge rushers, in the first round. And without a first-round pick in next year's draft, the Falcons aren't exactly in a position to make a compelling offer for Watt's services, or even an offer the Steelers would be interested in. Atlanta is in a weird spot right now. Is TJ Watt incredible? Absolutely. Would he be a perfect fit for the Atlanta Falcons defense? Without a doubt. But do the Falcons really want to bring in someone who's going to take all the snaps and potentially put a hard ceiling on the development of two guys they just invested high draft capital in? Unlikely. I believe Fontenot and Morris just made two big gambles with those first-round picks on James Pierce from Tennessee and Jalen Walker from UGA. They'd like to see those investments pan out a bit before just stuffing their development, because superstar TJ, what is here? Now, you could stop the conversation right there and say, stop overthinking this. He's a defensive player of the year. To hell with unproven former first-round draft picks. Take the known commodity. And you'd have a strong point. What would be great, immediately impactful. But the Falcons could also argue, hey, what was a late first-round draft pick, not too far off from where we got James Pierce? Jalen Walker was a mid-first-round pick. Both are on cheap rookie contracts. Let's see how our younger, injury-free, and cheaper options play out before moving on to a guy who's approaching 30, doesn't have as much gas left in the tank, and has had some injuries in his career, even if he is a known thing. My money is on the Falcons wanting to stick by Pierce and Walker. The only path I see for that changing, the only scenario where Fontenot makes such a bold franchise-altering move, is if he feels his time in Atlanta as GM is coming to a close. If he believes that to keep his job, the Falcons need to put together not just a winning season, but a playoff winning season. Going 9-8, getting the 4 seed, winning the NFC South, and then losing in the first round of the playoffs by 2 touchdowns, that's not enough to keep his job. And if he believes TJ Watt is the missing piece, the immediate game wrecker who can help him avoid that fate, then maybe, just maybe, he makes the call. What if the Falcons called the Steelers and said, we'll give you James Pierce for Watt, and we'll throw in some draft picks too? Personally, if you're getting TJ Watt, you're taking that. James Pierce, for all his potential, could turn out to be another Takaris McKinley or Vic Beasley, a nothing burger in terms of long-term impact. I don't think that scenario is very likely, and I'm not going to get too invested in that possibility. But it would be something Fontenot would have to consider, wouldn't it? The stakes are incredibly high. So, what's your take, Falcons fans? Do you gamble on the future with Pierce and Walker? Or do you swing for the fences for a proven superstar like TJ Watt? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's a real-time dilemma that could shape the very trajectory of our team. The NFL, once again, proves it's the most unpredictable league on the planet. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your passion fuels this channel, and we love hearing your unique perspectives on these high-stakes decisions. If you found this breakdown insightful, and you're as gripped by this potential blockbuster as we are, please hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive Falcons analysis. We'll see everyone later.